The Midwest, home sweet home in good old Indiana. Place of small towns, cozy families gather together, and fields of corn and rustic woods. But, like any town, there is a dark underbelly that often goes unnoted. We are part of that darkness. We lurk in the shadows to bring you the best in horror, metal, and stories of the grotesque. This is Blood in the Cornfields. All right, welcome in, cellar dwellers. I'm Mark.
I'm Ivy.
And we are Blood in the Cornfields. Excited to get things started today. We're just going to pull right into it. As you all can tell, we have a guest, Mr. Black Tornado himself.
What's up?
How you doing?
Hey, man. Oh, yeah, I forgot you guys do video. I'm just, like, sitting there. I was mouthing along.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It
See?
looks good. I like it.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
You have to look presentable, sir.
Yeah, hold on. Square up here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
little
awesome.
fine tuning.
I forgot. See, on my show, it's all audio. You can be in your pajamas and nope, not with you guys. I got to come correct. All right, what's up, everybody?
Hey, sometimes it's more you than me. Sometimes she's business up top, but party down below in like some PJs and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happens a lot, actually.
And slippies.
Yeah, and my slippers.
She's got the slippies a lot of times.
Right now, my
I have a pair of Crocs on, so yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I'm just jeans and shoes. Like I'm just kind of nothing exciting.
It's all good. You always got fun shirts.
I have my shirt that collects too much fuzzies from my hoodie.
Oh,
like, can you? I know I can. Yeah,
I do see.
And I've washed it like twice. Still same problem.
I just noticed you got the Evil Dead. It's like the Entombed lettering, but it's Evil Dead. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I'm wearing my red bait for Women's Month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got your shirt. How
all
good?
The merch.
Yeah. How good for you? I'm so happy for you.
Oh, I'm gonna send you some shit.
I was gonna say I'm sensing a little tone in your voice.
Boy, howdy! I'm so happy. No, that's cool. No, I don't know, man. They must have ran out of my size or something, and so yeah, I ended up getting the refund. But that's when I messaged you. I was like, I got a refund. You're like, yeah, I got my stuff. I'm like, damn it.
Well, and they sent me a shit ton of stuff.
I saw that.
Yeah, that picture you showed me. That's some cool merch.
I'm definitely sending you some shit because I don't need all of it.
I would not be against one of those patches if you ended up with an extra one.
Yeah. I got like 4 of them.
I was gonna say, I wasn't even involved, and I got some handouts. Yep. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm all for it.
Nice.
All for that.
Yeah.
Sweet. So,
just one thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Can I cut it real fast? Since this is a video, I just want to show them that I am supporting the band. I'm wearing my Devil Lettuce t-shirt.
That's fucking cool.
Because I thought with you guys it would be video, and I thought, let me support one of the bands that's been really good to the podcast, has supported the show. I support them. So yeah, Devil Lettuce out of Bloomington, Indiana. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so I don't know anything about them, and I do my podcast listening when I'm like doing my morning routine, shower, trimming up beard, brushing, all that sort of stuff. So I was listening to y'all's episode, and I thought you were saying the Devil's Lettuce. And I was like, ooh, is this some like psychedelic, like some sludgy drudgy?
There you go.
Yeah.
Shames me to say that I didn't catch that right away. That took me a second because I'm going, the Devil Lettuce. Boy, that sounds like a horror movie. And I'm going, huh? And I was talking to another buddy about it. He catches it immediately, and then is looking at me like, dude, you don't get it? I go, the Devil Lettuce. He goes, say it. I go, the Devil Lettuce. Oh, yeah, clever. I got it the whole time. I knew. I was messing with you. I knew the whole time. I didn't just pick up on this just now.
Yeah, that was my first time hearing it. That's just what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think you guys like corrected it later on in the episode, if I remember right, or you said the name again.
Well, because
Yeah.
She
I thought you were talking about Devil's Level.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
bands that have the devil in their name love Black Tornado Podcast, and I love them back. So if your band out there has the name or the word devil in it, we should probably connect, because devil bands seem to come my way, and I think that's amazing.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah, that was kind of awesome. So,
yeah.
new and horror. Why don't you
Yes.
jump into yours? Because
All right.
I'm excited to hear yours.
So, new in horror. First off, awesome Academy Award was given to The Substance for best makeup.
Yes,
Still haven't seen it. I need to see that movie.
that was
so good.
That was still
Yeah.
movie of the year for us.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
2024.
All right, I'm going to watch it this weekend. I'm going to make a point of buying it, renting it, finding it. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
right
good.
now in stores, because Walmart's basically the only place you can go to now. It should be about $12-13 at Walmart.
Sold. I'll get it this weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's
Cool.
worth it. Worth that. Penny, worth your
Nice.
time.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, poor Demi Moore had a
Real life substance experience.
Oh.
She lost to the actress who played in
Mikey.
Nora, and is a much younger young
Mhm.
lady for best actress.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So it was a whole substance situation.
Oh, ruthless.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then this next one, I was disappointed when I heard
Yes.
this, and I had to confer with you because I didn't watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
I just caught some of the replays, and I was like, "No, tell me this didn't." I even messaged you.
Yeah, you even hey, did they leave?
Did
this
they
person
leave
out?
us out?
So what it was is that we have an Oscar party anytime, and we actually do have big extravagant it's a full party. I still have some of the confetti on the table.
Wow, cool.
So and Luke makes special drinks that line up with each Best Picture nomination.
Wow, you guys go all out.
Yeah, we do. So they do a little in memoriam section for any of the actors who have passed away. So they left out Tony fucking Todd.
The Candyman himself.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Trash. See, and nothing against you guys having your fun. Power to you. That's why I don't watch this crap. That's why I don't watch it. Leaving out Tony Todd.
And that's the thing. Tony Todd's been in fucking everything.
Everything.
Not just Candyman. Yeah. It's not just
right.
Candyman.
Yeah, of course not. He's been in everything, and you're gonna just it was an oversight. We forgot him. Come on.
Yeah, that disappointed everybody.
Trash.
Yeah, and that's not the first time they've done this bullshit before. They did it when God, who died? Dick Miller. He's in everything. He's like a character actor. He's literally been in everything. He's in Gremlins. He's in.
Cool. Okay.
He's in anything that Joe Dante did. If you just look at his face, it's I know that guy. He's in fucking everything.
Okay.
But when Dick Miller died, he
I know that face.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, you recognize him, right?
Yeah. Immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Little Shop of Horrors. Okay.
Yeah.
So much stuff. They left him out?
They left him out in 2019 when he died.
Listen, there's only a certain amount of people that die that year that are related to film. Can't you get them all? It shouldn't seem like a hard task.
I mean, of course, they slipped Gene Hackman right on in there, and it's okay, fine, but you forgot XYZ? What?
Oh, he was in Small Soldiers. Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. Nice.
A good movie.
I mean, I get it if, you weren't in any major films. I could maybe, but the dude was in Gremlins.
Yeah. You're in fucking everything,
I mean,
dude.
Yeah. Name me bigger films than Gremlins. There's not that many,
Sure.
That's crazy.
So,
Trash.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But other news in horror, we got, good news.
Mm-hmm.
There is in the works Amanda
It's like Siegfried or something like that. I'll fuck it up all day long.
Amanda Seyfried, who was in Jennifer's Body. She played Jennifer's friend, Needy, said that they are working on a sequel. So there is a potential sequel in the works as of right now, according to what is stuck.
I would like to see that. I would like to see how they do that.
Yeah.
Yapa Cody does a good job. And I with Lisa Frankenstein coming out, even though she didn't direct that one, but like she had the script for it. And then like we talked about that on the show that we were both on for Women's Month, where Zelda Williams, the daughter of Robin Williams,
did Lisa
Frankenstein as far as director. But yeah, that's cool to hear. I'm glad.
I said Lisa Frank. That's the artist that does the Trapper Keeper dolls that are like the cats and dogs.
She's cool too.
Yeah.
We also have the possibility of Crispin Glover becoming a new horror icon.
Oh, I would so love that. I am all in on that.
He's already a horror icon since he was in the remake of Willard and he was in Friday the 13th.
With this dancing scene that everyone should love.
Yes. And it's a movie based on a book called The Third Parent. And Crispin Glover's going to be the main villain in that.
Sounds like a lot of children killing, right up your alley.
You do this to me every fucking time.
Yes. That's awesome.
Also in memoriam, but she died this year. Eleanor Gigori.
Argento.
She's in Dario Argento's Inferno.
Was it Inferno or Suspiria
Inferno.
Too? Was she in Suspiria or am I crazy?
I don't think she was in Suspiria, but she was in Inferno, which is the second movie to Suspiria.
Maybe that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay, which probably makes sense.
Yeah. Really cool. She had a great amount of titty shots in that movie.
We love her for that.
Wet titties, too?
Yeah, they're better than dry ones.
I'm just telling you.
Better than dry ones.
That's true.
Yep.
That's facts.
Ma'am. She actually is a really stupendous actress, even though, we're talking about her titties. I think that's it for me as far as like horror news. I think you got some stuff.
So for me, I've got some interesting stuff that I kind of stumbled onto. So first things first. Now, did we not talk about this in a previous episode?
I don't think we did.
No? Okay. I felt like we did, but I wasn't sure.
Maybe we thought about it.
Hell, I don't know. But anyway, Barbarian director is doing a Evil Dead movie. Or, excuse me, Resident Evil. Not Evil Dead. Resident Evil. Sorry.
Let's go.
Yeah, so doing a Resident Evil movie, and it has a release date in September 26th.
Okay.
I think it's like September 18th, if I remember correctly, but 2026.
Let's go.
So
Barbarian was great. I love the Resident Evil. I like all the Resident Evil movies. I like them all.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Also, don't know if a lot of you have seen this, but I actually really liked it. Ready or Not 2 is actually going to be starting to get set up. So if you haven't seen that, that's the movie where it's the husband and wife. She goes to meet the family, and then they end up hunting her.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm a hater, and I'll tell you why. I'm a hater. I'll tell you why. Because I'd rather watch Strangers.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No,
I'd rather watch Strangers. Nothing against the other, but it reminds me of Strangers. And even when I was watching it, I was like, this kind of reminds me of Strangers. As soon as this is over, I want to watch First Strangers again.
That's actually a fair point. But I thought that they were the same movie.
To be fair, that's one of my all-time, like, if you said do top 50 horror, Strangers, first one will be somewhere on that list. I love that movie.
Fair enough.
So I'm a hater, but power to them. And I'm sure I'll probably end up watching it anyway.
Absolutely. So another thing too, a movie we talked about, and I showed skepticism. Death of a Unicorn is bombing at South by Southwest. So those of you, which South by is actually, I think, going on right now. It's turned into a 3-week process, but it's in Austin, Texas. They do film, they do interactive, and then they do music. It's turned into a massive thing. I participated in it. I used to work in the bars, and it's absolutely fucking crazy. But anyway, so they do movie reviews they'll drop to kind kind of see. It's like a film festival type thing, and it's getting consistent 2 out of 5 skulls.
Really
Yeah,
sucks.
it's bombing pretty hardcore. Which, I mean, I'm not surprised. That's kind of what I was queuing it up in my head, that was gonna kind of go that way. But hey, you never know. Critics aren't always right.
See, bad reviews make me want to watch the movie.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. I mean, hell, the other thing is too, I just fucking love unicorns, so I'm gonna still fucking watch it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at those reviews, especially for horror. I go on the opposite scale. So if somebody gives it a 10, I don't pay any mind to it. But if you give it like a 1.2, I'm watching it tomorrow. I have to see it because I love those kind of movies, man. I like finding the movies that people don't like, and I always find some redeemable quality in these movies that seem to not do well, where I'm sitting there going, oh, I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't know.
Sweet. And I guess before we rip into it, we've got a couple plugs for some things that we have coming up, kind of coming down the pipe.
Yep.
So I'm going to kind of go into 2 of mine. So I have 2 guests that that we're going to be bringing on our podcast. First one I want to shout out, and it's her Instagram. She goes by Screen_Queen_Reviews. Her name's Melanie. So when you see it on there, so I'm directing that because to find her just straight up on YouTube is a little bit difficult. Yeah. So I found that it's easier if you just go to her IG page. She's now having links built into her stories on IG, so that makes it a lot easier. She does really good reviews. They're short clips, about 14 minutes from the first, I want to say 3 to 4 that I've watched.
Yeah.
She's very soft-spoken, really has like kind of a sweet voice that's really kind of soothing to listen to. So definitely check her out. Excited we're going to have her. And then also Final Girls, the podcast, is another one we're going to be collaborating with.
Cool.
Yes, very talented ladies. They're just, I'm excited, to kind of see what perspective they provide too, because they sing like a lot more distinguished, and I think I may have to like brushing myself up and not be like a cheesy bastard that I am. So I don't know. We'll see. But they're under Instagram. Same thing with them. If you go to their Instagram and check them out, it's a lot easier. And I just went through my thing. So theirs is Final Girls, the podcast at Instagram, and then their links are all there, so you can find them and check them out.
Yeah, they're also pretty hard to find on YouTube as well.
They are. That's why I kind of plugged that with their Instagrams, because I know the Final Girls were actually doing a little like contest to kind of get input or something on like how they're hard to find and stuff. So they want to try to like get links to build up the algorithm and make it easier, which I totally get. So both guests that we're really excited to have on in this upcoming episodes here in the future for us. So
nice. Just followed them.
Sweet.
Nice. So we also have some people that we're going to try to support, some groups. We're hoping it all works out. South Bend Roller Derby. We're looking to become one of their sponsors.
Ooh, cool.
That's going to be badass. We also would like to have some of those girls on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of them are kind of spookier ladies.
Yeah.
So that would be badass.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Maybe we should do. So I had a person that listens to the podcast that said, "Why don't you guys do your pole dancing and go do rollerblading with them?"
Yeah,
it can't be me against you because I can't squash you.
I can't skate to save my life. So the thing that's tricky about me is if you see me and you experience this. Yeah.
The thing with me is I'm kind of bulky, bigger guy, but I'm surprisingly nimble.
Yes, you are.
So I feel like I would be okay with the skating. I used to play street hockey. I was a goalie in my younger days. So that might be interesting.
Yeah,
that would be.
It's a thought. It's an idea.
Yeah, we could film that shit.
The other thing that we're thinking about doing is eventually, hopefully at some point, I don't know where you're at with talking to them, but hosting a burlesque show with the Distress Dolls. It's a local burlesque troupe out of South Bend. Cool. Kind of nerdy girls. All of them. Amazing, incredible people.
Yeah.
very kind people as well.
Yep.
But we want to collaborate with them hopefully at some point and do like a horror themed burlesque show.
Yes. So
cool.
Kind of to add some to that. So where we kind of sit is I have the information for, I believe, is like the head of the group.
Yeah.
Message her, haven't gotten any response. But before that, like I've reached out to some members and it sounds like it's got to be run by the head lady kind of thing first.
Beta DeVille.
Like, I'm not getting responses from her, which is fine. She's busy. Like, who cares? Whatever. And I've tried to toe the line of not to seem like a creepy pervert by, like, reaching out to one or two. Because, like, I don't want to blow up inboxes and seem like a creepy pervert or something.
Yeah.
So I've messaged a couple and just kind of like, hey, this is the concept. Do you think that would fly? And both of the members that I had mentioned both seemed like it would be. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. Let's get this going. I can't get to the head. I forget what her name is.
Beta DeVille.
Okay. All right. So I can't get to her. So if anyone out there knows, like, hey, check your DMs. It's not a creepy pervert. I promise.
Yeah. I can try to. Because I've thought about joining the burlesque troupe before.
Sweet.
And it's just not happening with my work schedule. There's no way I could make time for it. But it sounded like a fun thing to do.
Sure.
I got ideas. But like, maybe this would be something where, okay, I can't do this all the time, but maybe for this special event, maybe you and I can do burlesque.
Oh, shit.
Together.
Why you got to throw me into this?
It'd be awesome.
Nobody wants to see that shit.
Everybody wants to see that.
No, nobody wants to see that. Let me keep my clothes on and MC it. No, hell no. So, I don't know. I mean, if enough people want me to do it, whatever, I'll do it. I'll give two shits. But I would think that, because I don't want to. So this is my thought. It's like they're all talented. They know what the hell they're doing. They're pretty. Yeah. And then you have my dumb ass up there. I'm just gonna stink up the show.
No,
like
I'm
gonna like take away from what they're doing. Yeah, you can't be respected as a legit organization if you have me like doing some scandally dance up there. Oh, that'd be terrible. That'd be so terrible.
Only because I can see you for some reason, like taking off your jacket, going.
I would probably go into me. I would do the hairy bagel. Oh. You know what a hairy bagel is?
No.
Do you know what a hairy bagel is?
I do not.
So if you have a belly and you go and you just push your stomach together and your belly button makes the hole of the bagel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's a hairy bagel. I'd hit him with that number.
Oh. I've never done that before, and now I did it.
Yeah, you just never seen a hairy bagel, my friend.
Nope. Can't say that anymore. Now I have.
Yes. Yeah, so I'd probably hit him with that.
Yeah, and lastly, what?
I don't know. I don't know what you're going to say. That's why I'm like,
Lastly, we are hopefully going to be doing our first ever live.
Oh, yes. Like
excursion.
Thing. Yeah. Like a live. So I've talked about ad nauseum, I think, over the year and some months that we've been around, that I want to do some cryptid stuff. Well, this isn't quite cryptid, but it's down that direction.
Yeah.
But my whole thought was I wanted to go out and, like, I'm stupid. I have a couple stupid friends. We'll walk into some stupid shit and, like, film it and see if we see something, because I'm very much an idiot like that. So we're kind of going to be doing something in that vein.
Yeah.
I think, somewhat.
We've been looking at a couple of different places, but one that I'll do with you.
The Bloomington one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do with you, but I'm bringing fucking a rosary. I'm bringing a crucifix. I'm bringing a fucking holy water. Because it's a haunted cemetery.
Yeah.
It's apparently the most haunted fucking cemetery in Indiana.
Yeah, that's...
I gotta... If that's the most, I know a runner-up. And this place, I know from personal experience, 100 stories. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a little closer by me. But if you guys want to actually witness something, this is where you go. Because you're gonna you're gonna leave and you're gonna go, we got something here.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't get into that sort of thing. I don't have anything against it. I just don't get into it. And I went sometime during high school, and as a non-believer, I got the shit scared out of me with a bunch of other people that were also non-believers, and it turned us around pretty fast. We all left with a different perspective than when we walked in.
Which cemetery was that?
This is Gypsy. Is it just called Gypsy Cemetery? That's the name that it has out here. It has a specific name. I think it's called Reeder Road or something like that. I'll get you guys the information for it, but I will say this to anyone listening now: that place is heavily patrolled. Don't just go screwing around there at night. You're gonna get arrested. There are times that you can come and it's acceptable, but don't go in there at 4:00 in the morning. There's security and cops and everything. And but we went, and again, as somebody that didn't really have thoughts like that, when I left with a changed mind.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've heard about Step Cemetery too, as well in Bloomington.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, we'll go into it. This is the first time doing one of these, so my
we'll
thoughts are just kind of, we'll throw it out there and see like what we do. I don't know, like I'll probably push you a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't talk it too much, and then we just literally go there and don't have anything, and we have to tell people, hey,
right? Be like,
hey, episode we talked about. It's really just me and Ivy talking in a like abandoned cemetery or something.
Right. We'll see how it goes.
That's always my fear with doing something like that. That's
right.
New, so awesome. Well, the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Yeah.
Of course, it is Women's Month. And was it Women's Day? Just like what, like
yesterday,
2 days ago? Okay.
As of this recording, it would have been like a week ago, but it was on. Was it the 8th? March 8th.
Yeah. Right.
March 8th was Women's Day, International Women's Day.
Yeah. So we're gonna basically kind of, each of us has brought some of the female characters or the actual actresses themselves to the forefront, and we're each gonna kind of give a breakdown of 3 that we feel are some of the most important.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, like when I was on your show, we talked about, and I'm listening to it again, I'm like, oh, I feel like an idiot, but we talked about women directors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, shit, I forgot about that. And I was just like, well, what about just strong, cool female characters that we really admire in horror, and also to celebrate the actresses behind those actors, or those characters, because that's who really bring the characters to life, is the actresses who like turn these characters into like memorable people. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I guess we'll start with guests first.
Yeah.
Let's have you hit us up.
Yeah. Right. We're just lay it on us.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess maybe I'll save the biggest one for last. Right. Well, I guess that's kind of hard because I think they're all pretty big, but I'll start with Essie Davis as Amelia Vanek from 2014's The Babadook.
Ooh. Okay.
The way she handled that role, we're doing spoilers, right? Because this is like one of the biggest horror movies of all time, and it came out in 2014. So if you haven't seen it by now, it's kind of on you. Yeah. So I'm sure people watching, listening, and I'm sure you guys as well, everybody's seen The Babadook.
Yeah, hell, Simpsons already did a parody of it for Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah, if Simpsons do a parody of it, then it's fair game.
Yep.
Her mental decline and just watching her slowly be chipped away scared me way more than any monster ever could have. I mean,
100%.
This is a real woman dealing with real problems that people face, like having your husband pass away and having to adjust to that and raise your child, and obviously you're having trouble doing so. even before this demonic entity, enters the film, I can already respect this woman for just giving it her all, putting her best foot forward and trying her best. And then for the next hour and a half, however long the movie is, we just watch her, it starts slow. And then obviously it builds to the point where she's straight up insane by the middle of the movie. Yeah. And that terrified me because I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of her son.
Right. Yeah,
I grew up
years old or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I grew up, single mom, so I'm trying to put myself in that mindset and basically just like, okay, how would I react to mom just snapping?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most as an 8-year-old boy or however old the kid is, it's probably the most terrifying thing a person could ever imagine. The person whose sole job and responsibility is to care for you and be there for you is now telling you that if you're hungry, why don't you go eat shit?
Right.
And just losing your goddamn mind. And so for me, when we're thinking of strong female characters in horror, that's just one that I've seen the movie multiple times, and if I turn it on right now, I'm still gonna get shivers slowly watching her get chipped away by this demonic entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think the film for me stands out above like pretty much almost all of the movies that I can recall that are around that time frame, the 2014s, 15s. That really stands out as one that I would pluck out and just be like, that is one of the better, maybe even the best. I don't know. I'd have to put some time into it, but
and Hereditary are about on the same level as far as like strong female characters that are literally just being torn the fuck apart.
Yeah.
And you get to watch them just snap in horrific real time.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing with Hereditary, where it's a slow burn, and then by the time it pops, I mean, you're on the edge of your seat, just afraid for the family and afraid for the others.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great start, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. What you coming with? What you got?
So, for my person, I'm gonna kind of go with a generic one for me. Like, if you guys know me, you've listened to the show all the time, I'm going with Tiffany Valentine, Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
I love my Jenny with the silly titties.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend's favorite. Like, I totally get it. She's just, there's something about Tiffany. Like, first off, she's just hella hot. It's Jennifer Tilly. Yeah.
First off, even in doll form, she's hella hot. Like, how did that happen? How did you make a sexy doll?
Oh.
And then also, she's just, I don't know, there's something like psycho sweet about her. And I'm not saying like Harley Quinn, but I guess you can kind of put them on the same.
Maybe it's like a splash.
Similar on the same level as far as like the psycho sweetness, because she's also a great mom. Like, fucking Tiffany Valentine is a good mother. She puts her children first before her job, murdering people. And she's just, what a great person. What a good mom. What an aspiring person to look up to as fucking Tiffany Valentine.
Absolutely.
I want to be that mom.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, you know how I always talk about marketing. I fucking love marketing. For me, the brilliance of the Child's Play people to realize, like, hey, we're probably going to run out of steam here pretty quickly if we keep going down this, like, Chucky path.
Yeah.
But then to branch off and then create Tiffany and Glenn and Glenda, that was fucking brilliant, because now you've just opened up, like, your marketing, what you could do, your stories that you can now intertwine, and then it spun off and they did the TV series. But, like, that decision to make Tiffany made that franchise so much fucking money. Money.
They expanded their universe in a really positive way, and then that came back tenfold when the show came out.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because they continued that lore. And that's one of the things I love about Child's Play is it's got lore building. It's got this really good story. It's not streamlined, and that's okay because we can have fun with this.
Yeah.
You know, it's got kind of a floating timeline, kind of like The Simpsons, where there's some loopholes and shit like that, but you know, we're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
I like that about them. I like that they know how to have fun. And I think that's what makes, Tiffany as a character so important is let me back up a little bit though. I remember there was a time where people hated The Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky for quite a long time. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's the death of the franchise. Absolutely not. Because you now, like we just talked about, allowed for so much more growth, and Tiffany became like one of the most popular fucking characters in pop culture history.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think the balance of femininity and violence and gore, because there are a lot of like feminine women that love, horror and all that stuff. And I think this was a brilliant mixture of those two.
Yeah.
And so I think it gives us so many like women something that's like identifiable. That's like, I'm kind of a batshit crazy, but also love my makeup, or like I love to have my, push-up bra, my tits hanging out or whatever, And I think that like gives it like a little kind of like an identifying point or like a jump off point or something like that. I think it's brilliant.
Barbie eats your heart out.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah.
All right. So on to me. So I'm going to come out swinging, which is just kind of my personality anyway. So I'm going with Stretch, Miss Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I even did a little like kind of dive in, a little bit about her. The one thing I was going to say, 67, and dang, does she not look good for 67? Like,
truth.
For real.
Facts.
That is so close to 70. And think about 70-year-olds that in your mind that you come in contact with. That's the first thing I was going to say. So banging for 67. I was thinking like maybe 61.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. And, she's was born in Little Rock, but she comes from Texas. So I had to shout that out for her. But one thing that I wanted to say, too, and I'd heard this before, but I kind of read a little bit about to get the details. So when she was auditioning for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, she was going up against 440 other women.
Oh, my God.
And so she came in running down the hallway screaming, opened up the doors to where the casting room was, had the director, Mr. Hooper, and the producer stand up. She grabbed their chairs and barricaded the door. And in the movie, to me, she's the first actual, like, good scream queen that I identify with. And what I mean by that is, like, she had really good differences in screams. It wasn't just there's no and like the different types of screams that she would do. It's true. Not just a wailing belt scream all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And she would even say no good, a half screamy kind of like leave me alone. And her screams in that movie, because I fucking know that movie like the back of my hand.
Right.
Just the way that they fluctuate is so much of her storytelling and just like an extra additive. And so I'm not surprised that that's what she did to get that audition, because I just fucking that's the standard for scream queens. In my opinion, that's the standard for them.
Have you met her?
I have, yes, I have. Yeah.
I was gonna say, because like you, I've done Flashback Weekend and Horror Hound and all these others, and I've met countless people over the years of Days of the Dead and these other events.
Yeah.
Caroline Williams is without shadow of a doubt the nicest person I have ever met in my life.
Yeah.
She was just a complete pleasure to speak to. She didn't I mean, I didn't sit there and take up a ton of her time, but she didn't make me feel as if I was rushed. I asked her questions about the film, and you could tell, she genuinely put thought and interest into her answers. And if it wasn't up on the ceiling with push pins, I'd show it to you. But I have I don't know what you'd call this poster. It's not like a regular, like an 8x10. It's tall and thin, and it's purple and black, and it's got the KOKLA call sign on it.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
And, and she signed it, and it's a prized possession of mine.
Oh,
anytime I've spoken to people about these conventions or meeting people, I always make a point to say, if you go to a horror related convention, Carolyn Williams is there. Make sure you say hello to her. Make sure to have a conversation. Get something from her. Get an 8x10. Get a poster or something, because it will be the highlight of your horror convention day.
Yeah, absolutely. When I had met her, I was a little bummed, and I thought I would run into her again, but I haven't. But so I believe, because they tend to run together with like who you meet at what convention, but I believe there was a small time convention in Fort Wayne. So in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that was actually legit. And I'm pretty sure that's where I met her. And I was going to, get something from her. It was kind of towards the endish, like maybe the last 2 hours. And so I came up to her, and this is when a couple of years ago. So she was the first time using the chip reader, the square reader.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know what she was doing, and she didn't have signal. And so she was like, I can only take cash. And I was like, oh, shit, I don't have cash. But I was like, hey, let me swing by and I'll, come back or whatever. And I ended up not being able to go back before she left. So I've always made it a point that, like, next time I see her, I do need to, like, buy some shit and get stuff signed and stuff. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's up there. She's my primo scream queen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sir Adam, back to you. What do you got?
Back to me. All right, let's go. Cult classic, absolutely one of my, probably in the top 5 of my favorite horror movies of all time. I'm sure I'm not alone in this one. My second pick would be Shelley Duvall, who played Wendy Torrance in the 1980s The Shining.
Rest in peace, Shelley.
R.I.P. Again, another role where the fear for her is so incredibly strong, because her husband is losing his goddamn mind, and the iconic scene with the 14-inch cigarette ash, and somehow it hasn't fallen yet.
Yeah.
But then she, the movie, it turns a corner where she realizes there's no coming back from this. I have to get my son to safety. My husband is clearly not here. The man that I came up with, he's gone. I'm dealing with someone else now. And she steps up, and she does, I would say, probably the best you can do in that situation, trying to protect the family that she has left. And I remember watching that movie as a very young kid, probably younger probably younger than I should have been watching it. And that was a big takeaway from me, is seeing incredible fear turn into motivation and determination to survive this. And that's just a great movie. She did such a great job, despite everything that she had to deal with while filming. Yeah, despite everything she dealt with while filming the movie, and did a phenomenal job, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen some of the behind the scenes for that movie, but like Jack Nicholson, his warm-ups and shit for like keeping and staying in character were downright fucking creepy. like making faces and hopping around with a fucking axe and shit.
Yeah.
And just like getting ready and shaking it out. And like, it's fucking crazy, man. Like it, you know, and she rose to his level.
Yeah, she did.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And that's not something that's easy to do. I mean, you know, top actors of our generation. I mean, he may be top 5, I would probably say easy.
Sure.
She rose to that level, and that says something for sure about her, because I can't think of any other roles that Jack Nicholson has had that anyone has rose to like his level like I felt she did in that movie.
Right.
Yeah. I think the only thing close that like anybody ever kind of matched Jack Nicholson probably would have been Batman, Michael Keaton and
Michael
Batman.
Keaton.
Yeah.
I think that's the only other thing, but like not to the crazy levels as this one here.
Yeah, and even just non-stuff like is You Can't Handle the True Speech. Like if you just watch that for what it is, it's like shit, dude. That's really good.
Yeah.
Like
it's powerful.
Yeah. So that's what the one thing that I always take away from it is like she stepped up and delivered a performance that like matched his for sure.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The funny thing is too, like, you know, we talked about how we watched this probably too young. Like we probably shouldn't have been.
Right.
When I first saw that movie, I only knew Shelley Duvall from 2 things, like kids media. It was Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tales that she had on HBO, where she was just this real sweet lady, you know, real soft spoken, all that stuff. And she had like, that show is actually incredible. Like if you can go back and try to find that show, episodes on YouTube.
I've seen clips of it, but I didn't watch it when it was on.
So fucking good. It's a really good show. Ron Williams as like the Frog Prince is like one of my favorite ones. It's like one of the first episodes too. But anyway, I knew her from that. And then as Olive Oil from the Pot Pie movie.
Right.
Yeah. Those are like the 2 roles I've seen her in. And so to watch her as a child, probably about the same age as Danny Torrance in that fucking movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I probably shouldn't have been watching it at that young with my dad. But here we are. And I'm just watching this childhood like hero of mine screaming bloody murder and terrified. And it's like, oh no, I didn't want that to happen to her.
It kind of reminds me now that pretty much everything pre being an adult, everything that I watched of Stephen King's, I was way too young to be watching all of it.
Yeah. But you know, that's the beauty of horror is like you find stuff, you know, that maybe you're way too young to be watching, but like it instills, you know, I guess like a fight or flight response in you as a kid. And you almost kind of learn from these horror movies of like, that's obviously bad. Stay away from it because this is what could happen.
These are the life lessons that I tried to explain to my mom when I was young. I'm learning from these bad decisions that these characters are making. It's all educational with blood and titties and such.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's also very educational.
Yes, it is. It is. Anatomy 101.
Yes.
100%. And we got Casper tossing shit down the steps.
Nice.
All right. So we were talking about Scream Queens. I gotta shout out my personal Scream Queen, Linnea fucking Quigley. Trash from Return of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Love Trash for the whole 15 minutes she's on fucking screen.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not on for very long, but God, does she leave an impact.
It's a great 15 minutes.
Yep. Dancing naked on a grave, and also just her. Oh my God, the acting of Linnea Quigley in that role is just silly. It's campy. It's wonderful. She's supposed to be this like, oh yeah, I don't care about anything. Yeah, I think about death and all this other stuff. And she's just like, she's really hamming it up. Like it's
cornball, but it's good.
Yeah, it's obviously this is not a real human. This is not an actual person you'd ever meet in real life. Even the down to like the tattoo thing she's got on her fucking face is almost cringy. It's like this is not a real person. But she is just fantastic in that movie. Also, just like the whole part of her death where like it's literally her fantasy, But that's the thing. It's a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something she actually wanted to fucking experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the sad part about her death, I think, is like, oh man, she didn't deserve that. Like,
Yeah.
it's cold. She's wet. She's still walking around with no clothes on.
Yeah.
She borrows the one dude's jacket, and I'm just like, this poor girl. She needs some clothes. Get her some clothes. But yeah, Linnea Quigley's just a phenomenal actress.
Such an iconic role too.
Yeah.
And then in Night of the
Absolutely.
Demons, she gets the notoriety too.
Yeah, the lipstick in the boob.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then we also got she was on Savage Streets with Linda Blair.
Gosh, I remember that.
I didn't see that
Savage
one.
Streets. I haven't thought of that. And
Yeah.
when was that? When was Savage Streets? Was that like?
In 1994.
I was gonna say right smack in the mid of the '80s if I had to guess. Okay.
Yeah. She plays I'm wrong, Luke. You can correct me. I think she's a deaf girl, and she gets raped and kidnapped. And fucking Linda Blair's like this badass bitch and goes to save her, like Terminator style.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a good movie. And then she's also, of course, she's in Silent Night, Deadly Night, where she gets pierced on the fucking, what do you call it, antlers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic scene. She's in Sorority Babes of the Slime Ballerama. A movie I want to see, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
I've not seen that one.
Good title.
Cool. She's in Pumpkinhead 2.
Oh.
She's in Beach Babes from Beyond. Bitch is in everything.
Jeez. Oh
She's got a list miles long and all the stuff she's in.
It was still going after you exited out. That's crazy.
It's like she's just. If you need a scream queen, you need someone that can scream for you. You need somebody who can die an amazing death, like in Creepazoids. You got her.
And
she can do everything.
For those of you who are interested in meeting Miss Scream Queen, Linnea herself, she's going to be at Static Tape's little convention they're having in Muskegon. It'll be on April 19th.
Yes.
I am going to that. I got my trash toy picked out that she's going to sign. So yeah, go. I'm trying to get my friends to go. It's only, Muskegon's like 2 hours and some change away from me.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. We're gonna head up to that, definitely.
Nice.
So mine, I'm going with a different one. This I'm actually going in the order that 1, 2, 3 just popped in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it and I'm like, all right, Mark, those are solid. I like those. We'll go with that. Mm-hmm. So I'm bringing up Heather O'Rourke. So Heather O'Rourke was Carol Ann Freeling in the Poltergeist movies. So the young girl.
Yep.
Did an absolutely amazing job. I've seen documentaries kind of about things, and from everything that I've ever heard, she stumbled on to meeting Steven Spielberg and kind of was like being like stranger danger with him, because I think like her mom was away and she was sitting and Steven asked like, hey, do I mind if I sit by you? And she's like, no, I'm not supposed to talk to strangers type thing. And then mom comes back and her daughter's talking to Steven Spielberg and she's just like kind of blown away.
Wow.
And I guess when they were talking about I don't know if it was Poltergeist or what, but putting her in the movie at 5 years old, she just straight up read the script. Like he was like, hey, we'll like get you to run through it. And then Heather said, no, I can read it, and like read the script to Steven Spielberg at 5 years old.
Wow.
And a lot of the actors on the set during Poltergeist had talked about how Heather would take cues from their emotion and match it, which is really brilliant for a young, like 6-year-old actress to pick up on that. And there's, I forget the lead mom, the lady who played
exactly who you're talking.
Carol Ann's mother. She's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
She's a good actress in her own right. There are times where she would, during scene breaks, say like, hey, Heather, are you okay? Like
Jo Beth Williams.
Yeah, you're, like, you all right? Like, it's really emotional. And she basically told her, like, no, I'm doing what you're doing. And she's like, I'm matching what you're doing. So it's just outstanding. Poltergeist, in my opinion, is some of the most underrated movies of that generation. Just such creepy, like when she's like, she says like they're back or something in the mirror.
Yeah.
She says that too, but there's some where she's like in the mirror looking at herself. She's in like red PJs.
Yeah.
And she says like I'm back movie. Or they're back or something. And then where she goes into the mud puddle in the parking garage. Just some shit that actually like just creeped me out. Like,
did you also see this when you were way too young?
Yes, I did. Of course. I saw that and Phantasm, and there's some of my favorite franchises for it. But so with Heather, it's a unique story. So she was very talented at a young age, but during the making of 1, 2, and 3 and Poltergeist, she kind of started to develop some mysterious illness that she was constantly going to doctors while making the movies, and they were trying to like diagnose and treat and all that stuff. I know her mom had said at one point that it really started out because her legs, her lower half, had swelled to like twice the size.
Oh.
So she's this young kid, like dealing with these creepy movies, which first of all, like you're acting in a horror movie and you're young, like that automatically in my book makes it more difficult than like a comedy or something like that.
100%.
Sure.
Being a little kid. So during the making of 1, 2, and 3, her health kind of changed, and unfortunately, at a very, very young age of 13, Heather passed away.
Oh,
12?
13. I believe she passed away when she was 13. Okay. And she actually had 2 cardiac arrests that were brought on by congenital stenosis, and then eventually died from septic shock.
Damn.
Yeah. So for me, we're all about giving notoriety to those that are no longer with us, and I thought she would be absolutely perfect because I have no doubt that she would have gone on to be like even better and done some cool shit, but like in their own rights, to be able to do these movies, like, and she's the star of them. Like, she really is. She's creepy, with how she says the things,
Her creepy little one-liners. I mean, of course, they're back.
Mm-hmm.
It's iconic.
So, I wanted to put her in because I think, in my opinion, she definitely holds a special spot in the Scream Queen spotlight, and I think with her being cut short before, she could have achieved more. But and then Poltergeist 3, the interesting thing is that they had to run the last back part of that movie after she passed away. So I think there's like a final scene where she's either like fading away or turns away or something, and that's even a body double at the end.
Wow. Huh.
So
see, I always got her story, Heather O'Rourke, confused with Judith Barcy. She was also a young girl that passed away real young. She was the voice of Ducky in Land Before Time.
Yeah. And God, that is a depressing story.
So I always confused the 2 actresses together.
Yeah.
So thank you for correcting me because I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. So I think she definitely deserves a spot in that circle. So
absolutely.
All right. What's
all
your
right? Back to me. All right. I'm gonna go with the tippy top of the mountain, the absolute best for 100 reasons. Kathy Bates, Annie Wilkins from 1990's Misery.
God damn, that woman.
Terrifying.
I know.
Put me in a room with Jason or Michael Myers or whoever you want, so be it. Don't put me in a room with Annie Wilkins. I won't be able to last, especially if she likes me because of my writing, or she likes the podcast or something, and I did something wrong. Again, another movie that I watched way too young, and when you messaged me, that was the first name. Kathy Bates is the first name that came. Now, there's other stuff, American Horror Story, which was amazing. She did phenomenal work in that, but specifically Misery. That is just terrifying on 100 different levels. This person's, bait and switch. And I mean, in this, again, as a little kid, this kind of goes back to those life lessons that you learn.
Right.
Don't trust nobody because this kind of stuff happens. But Kathy Bates is just an icon in anything that she's done, comedy, horror, whatever.
Yeah.
But her in Misery was just genuinely terrifying. I don't get scared, right, when I watch Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween.
They're entertaining. They're fun,
I don't get scared. When I watch Misery, I was afraid.
Yeah. The build up to the ankle scene, I think, is one of the best build ups to, because it takes just the right amount of time, and it's set up just properly that it's not too quick, but to me, it's one of the best build ups, I think, to any spot like that in film, period. Like,
agreed.
That is one of the best build-ups I think I've ever seen.
That movie also, just like you were saying, has like a staying power with you in your psyche.
Because it could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
When she walked back in and the penguin was slightly askew. Now and you're like, no. I don't remember how old I was, but I was pre-10 years old. Yeah. And when she noticed that the penguin was askew, I did that classic trope of like covering your eyes and like hiding, because I'm just like, how did she see that? How did she notice that? That was one of the first times as a little kid, because I've been watching horror since I was little, obviously. And that was one of the first times genuine fear. Yeah. For another character, for where the movie was going to go, just genuine, like, I feel unwell right now.
Yeah. And like, it was like, before Luke and I got married, I was like watching Misery alone in my apartment.
As a good girl should.
Yeah. I was watching it alone in my apartment, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm still like on the edge of my bed watching this thing. And I've seen it multiple times, but it's still like, you're right there, your heart's thumping, and it's like, I know what's going to happen, but oh my God.
Well, it's the same with the hobbling scene. I've seen the movie multiple times. I've owned it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, so I've seen it a bunch just at home. Knowing that the scene is coming doesn't make a difference. It's still, I just go, fuck. Oh, doesn't matter. There's few movies where a scene like that, I don't care how many times I've seen it, will just make me react in that way. And that's definitely one of them. Another one, it's not hard, but I wanted to bring it up just to see if you guys laugh about this. The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh.
When
pencil?
No, I love that. I love that, because that is Michael J. White in it, and anything he does is phenomenal. I love that man. No, when the fake dead Batman hits the glass against the skyscraper, I know I know the scene's coming. I mentally tell myself in 2 seconds the dead Batman, the fake Batman body is going to hit. And of course, I sit in my living room with the big TV, and I've got the sound system cranked, and that slam hits that glass, and I jump 3 feet every fucking time. Even if I know it's coming. It scares the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what direction you going, ma'am?
All right, so my third and last one I was wrestling with, because it's like, okay, first off, it was going to be Jennifer Check from Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
I love Megan Fox. I think she's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then it was going to be Ginger from Ginger's Snap.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. That's what you told me it probably was going to be.
But then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, yes, I love these ladies. I think they're awesome they're awesome actresses, but they also, like, don't quite... Like, I love them, and they're iconic, but there was somebody that needed to be in this spot that was worth mentioning, and I feel like she doesn't get mentioned enough. And that would be Karen Black. Icon herself from Trilogy of Terror.
Oh, yeah.
She is just fucking phenomenal in that movie. She's Mother Firefly in The House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's in fucking everything, but in that particular movie, she has not one, but 4 roles that she plays. And one of which, because it's an anthology film, one of which she's 2 people.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just admire her so much. She does not get talked about enough, her acting. Good call. And she almost, in a way, it's going to tie into yours here in a bit, but she almost reminds me of a Mia Goth of the 70s.
Okay.
She's got just that look. She's got that style. They almost look similar. If you kind of look at some of these old pictures of Karen Black and Mia Goth, put them together, they look so similar too. But she's got phenomenal acting. She's just so good at what she does. Not just in horror, but she was in the fucking Great Gatsby. She was in Easy Rider. She was in what was that other one?
Was that Ooga Booga?
Yeah, Ooga Booga. With another voodoo doll in it. But yeah, there was, what was the other movie she was in that everybody talks about all the time? It's a plane movie. It's about a plane going down or something like that. She's like a co-pilot or something. But yeah. I don't know. Anyway, she's my pick. I just think she's a strong actress. Guys, look up Trilogy of Terror. You will not regret it. It is so fucking good. It's such a good, like, little mini anthology film. Everybody knows the ending with the little voodoo doll that comes after her with the pointed teeth.
Yeah.
Like, predates Chucky. It's so good, though. You guys need to check it out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that brings it to me. So I am going with the before mentioned Mia Goth, specifically for her work as Maxine in X. X is one of those movies that, like, when I think of my collection as a whole, it's one that I would pluck out. To me, I think it smacked Mia like square in relevancy to everyone at that point. Her performance in that movie just is fucking phenomenal. I was blown away when I first, saw it. And to me, I have full faith that she's going to continue to do great things. I mean, name me a person that can play a crazy bitch better than Mia Goth can.
Kathy Bates.
I would like to put them head to head. Because and maybe it's a little, personal jab too, because I think she's absolutely stunning. She's ridiculous. Has the awesome accent, like kind of the bubbly kind of vocal tones to her voice. Very much, kind of a sounds and seems bubbly, but like can just do some great shit. So yeah, she's my last and final because I have full faith that she's going to continue to go on and keep bringing us some really good shit. And she, great stuff in Maxine. I mean, anyone that has a ball crushing scene like that, I fucking love. Thought she did great in Pearl. I think with that one,
that one's peak for me.
Yeah, that one required her to be a little different, and play a different form of crazy. But yeah, I just, and then Infinity Pool. I mean, to me, that's where she blows it out of the water. We're being crazy and shit. Oh, I fucking love it. What guy doesn't like a crazy chick? But you can't vote for those ones. Yeah, those are the ones you leave alone.
Stay away.
Yep.
They look pretty, but don't go near them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny too because, I and by no means would ever say that crazy, but I know that like her husband, which is that I don't forget, how do you say it? Shia LaBeouf or whatever.
LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf, whatever. So
they married?
They're married, yeah.
Oh
so they got married in 2016.
So they're both crazy.
But yeah, well, but I don't know. See, I don't think she is. I think she's the steady
sane one.
I think she steadies him out because John Bertinelli has a really good podcast where he interviews people, and to Shia's credit, he basically describes like what a piece of shit he was and how he was abusive to her, and Like, how?
So they're not married anymore, is what I'm hearing.
Well, no, they're still married. They kind of went through a divorce kind of filing process, but shit. I don't think they ever went through with it. But it sounds like, from what I've heard, is it was a lot of Shia's fault. Like, getting into drugs, getting too heavy into roles, not balancing a family life with his work life. And he'll readily admit this. Any of you that, I forget what it's called, but it's John Bertinelli. He was in The Walking Dead. He played the Punisher on the TV series.
Yeah.
He has a podcast that is really good. That Shia LaBeouf episode is my favorite. And yeah, I think that she kind of steadies him out. And now they have a daughter. They have a daughter together. I want to say they had a daughter.
They have a kid?
They do, yes. But they're like, that's what I'm saying. I think that they're like a lot better now.
I'm hoping so, for her sake and for the kid's sake.
Yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
That is.
And she's just 31. She's just 31. So she's got a lot more to go.
I didn't realize we were close to the same age.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. She's only 31, so she's got a lot ahead of her. But I don't know. There's just something about her that I think like she's gonna continue to go like on the incline that she's on.
Hell yeah, she's doing so good for herself right now. Yeah. So that wraps up this one.
Yeah. I think overall, especially with being Women's Month and bringing some of these actresses to the forefront, it's kind of a cool thing to look back and pick out specific, because I'm sure like you guys, I had others that I was like, ooh, do I want to go this route or do I not? And the female lead is something that like I think has its ebbs and flows, and like, will kind of, go around and up and down. And now it seems like we're on like an uptick for that, because I'm noticing in a lot of film, the female lead is getting written a lot more, and also with researching like for some of these other guests that we're going to have, like we're doing Scream Queen type stuff, and just thinking like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot of Scream Queens or like Final Girls, you want to call Final Girls like that too. So yeah, I just think it's pretty cool that they're kind of coming up to the forefront a lot more now too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a movie that just recently came out, Companion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have, of course, The Substance, and we had a couple other films that are just phenomenal, and they're women lead roles, but they're also, some of them are directed by women, and that's fucking incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We need more women in horror, and they're here to stay. They're taking over.
Absolutely. It's character development. It adds, that element to it, because a lot of women get scared a little bit differently than men, or the way they interpret things is different. And I think having, that different interpretation works. But then also too, like, what guy is going to be able to scream?
Yeah.
Right.
Who's going to match that? Yeah. I'm sure there's some out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's
not
be honest.
Many.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we wanted to thank you, Mr. Black Tornado, yourself, for coming on and helping us out.
Absolutely.
Kind of going over some things. So do you have anything upcoming that you want to plug, or any special projects you got going on?
I mean, the show is pretty much the same. Anybody that's been following the podcast from last year, kind of leaning more towards into doing a lot of interviews. It gives me a chance to reach out to some of the bands that I play, and that way, if you enjoy their music, then you can hear about their creative process. I've talked about writing, recording, funny tour stories, things like that. So I'm kind of leading into more of playlist episodes will continue as always. But if somebody makes good music and they want to come on the show, I want to help. Yeah, I want to help these people as much as I can. So if I can sit down with them for an hour and talk about, I just did one. It'll, who knows, probably come out around the same time this comes out. But the guy was in his studio, and so behind him is all these different guitars and basses and stuff. And we just talked about gear for like 10 minutes, and he was grabbing different instruments and playing different riffs and chords and stuff, and you could just, hear tone differences between the different guitars and basses and whatnot. And so I'm just trying to kind of lean that way a little bit. But no, for the most part, I mean, if you listen to Black Tornado podcast, my mindset is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So pretty much just more of the same. If I could do a quick shout out, there's a up-and-coming podcast out of Bloomington, Indiana. Pretty much focuses on Bloomington bands called, what is it, the Noise and Nonsense Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Also actually features a member of this band, the Devil Lettuce, so that kind of works out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just, Black Tornado, as always, new episode every 2 weeks. Trying to kind of step out of my comfort zone a bit. I never liked doing interviews. I was never really, I kind of like sticking to the playlist, just kind of playing tunes, talking a little smack, and then calling it a day. So I'm kind of having fun now that I feel like I found a niche in that I can kind of sink my teeth into. So yeah, pretty much just kind of the same stuff. If you like underground metal and you want to check out bands from, I play bands from pretty much everywhere across the world. So if you've never heard a Philippines band or an Italian metal band before, then Black Tornado Podcast is a good place for you to check out. Hope you like the show.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, we always appreciate having you on. We've kind of
it's always a good
brotherhood.
Time.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, we appreciate everyone for hanging in there. Hopefully y'all made it to the end for this. We appreciate everyone's feedback. Always, like, follow us. Same thing with Black Tornado. But yeah, with that being said, look out for each other, and good night, cellar dwellers.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Peace.
Very good.